Hello everyone, welcome back to BioVidyalaya. In this video, we are going to discuss about B cell activation and differentiation. As we know that B cells are lymphocytes and they are participating in both humoral and acquired immunity. Humoral immunity means antibody mediated immunity and that is a part of acquired immunity. And after antigen encounter, this B cell get activate and differentiated into plasma B cells and memory B cells. These plasma B cells will secrete antibody and B cell receptor consisting of membrane-bound immunoglobulin and Ig alpha and Ig beta heterodimer. Ig alpha and Ig beta heterodimer is helping for signal transduction. So here in this video we are going to discuss about how this B cell are get activate and that will differentiate into plasma cells and memory B cell. So let's see B cell activation and differentiation. Maturation site of B cell is bone marrow and activation and differentiation of B cell occur in peripheral lymphoid organ. Other name of peripheral lymphoid organ is secondary lymphoid organ that include spleen, lymph node, etc. And activation, proliferation and differentiation occur in the peripheral lymphoid organ and that is required antigen. That means B cell receptors should bind with antigen for their activation. We know that the B cell receptor means that is a membrane bound immunoglobulin. Okay, so that membrane bound immunoglobulin should bind with an antigen for their activation and differentiation. After antigen encounter, this B cell will get differentiated to produce plasma cells and memory B cell. Plasma cell means that is antibody secreting cell and memory B cell will prevent our body from the exposure of the same pathogen. That will give memory. In the absence of activation, many B cells have short lifespans. The lifespan of B cell in our body, many B cell will produce, but only few of them will survive. Because the lifespan of this B cell is very short, about 3 days to 8 weeks. If they fail to encounter any antigen means that will die by apoptosis. That's why lifespan of this B cell is very short. As we know that there are many types of antigens and on the surface of pathogen itself many types of surface proteins are present. That means many types of epitopes are present. So depending upon the nature of antigen, two types of B cell activation, thymus dependent and thymus independent activation. In the case of thymus dependent activation, this B cell require direct contact with Th cells for their activation. But in the case of thymus independent activation, the B cell does not require any direct contact with T helper cell. That is the difference between them. Let's see about thymus independent activation. Thymus independent activation or thymus independent antigen. Thymus independent antigens are mainly non-protein antigen. That means that may be lipid, carbohydrates, etc. This thymus independent antigen elicits antibody production by B lymphocyte without T lymphocyte involvement. So, for the thymus independent activation, B cell does not require the direct contact with T helper cell. That is thymus independent activation. Thymus independent antigens are two types, type 1 and type 2. Example for type 1, lipopolysaccharide, bacterial DNA, etc. Type 1 antigens activate B cell via toll-like receptor. Here in this picture you can see that first signal is given by cross-linking of B cell receptor with antigen and the second signal is given by toll-like receptor. This is how B cell is get activated with the help of thymus independent antigen. Next is type 2. Type 2 antigen. Example for type 2 antigen, highly repetitious molecules such as polymeric protein. Example, bacterial flagellin or bacterial cell wall polysaccharides with a repeating polysaccharide unit causes simultaneous cross-linking of specific B cell receptor on B lymphocyte. So here in this picture you can see that this is a polysaccharide that is a type 2 thymus independent antigen. Many epitopes are present. So B cell receptor, many B cell receptor can bind with that epitopes. That will lead to the cross-linking or the aggregation of B cell receptor, and that leads to the activation of B cell. Okay. These are some features of thymus independent antigens or the thymus independent B cell activation. Antigen that stimulate B cell directly without co-stimulation by helper T cell. That means this thymus independent antigen will activate B cell, but that does not require the help of T cell, T helper cells. Okay. Usually polysaccharide or lipopolysaccharide, example bacterial capsules. These thymus independent antigens are non-protein, that may be polysaccharides or lipopolysaccharides. And cross-link antigen receptors on the surface of B cells to activate them. These thymus independent antigens will crossing B cell receptor, and that will lead to the activation of B cell. The mode of B cell activation by thymus independent antigen is cross-linking of B cell receptor or the aggregation of B cell receptor. Don't generate strong immune response. No memory cell. IgM is the only antibody class produced and the immunity does not last long. So, the immune response is not strong as compared to thymus dependent antigen, and that will not produce memory B cell. That's why there is no memory. And IgM is the only antibody class produced. That means there is no class switching. There is no that will not produce other isotypes of antibody. The main antibody producing is IgM. Okay. So there is no isotyping of antibody. Okay. Let's see thymus dependent antigen. Thymus dependent activation. Thymus dependent activation means that need the help of T helper cells. This antigen alone are not able to activate B cell, that need direct interaction with T helper cell for the B cell activation. There are two signals needed for the activation of B cell. One signal by the cross-linking of B cell receptor. Okay. Cross-linking of antigen to B cell receptor. And the second signal is given by T helper cell. As we know that these B cells are antigen presenting cell that will engulf, that will take this antigen inside by endocytosis, and that will process and present that antigens, that means protein peptide antigens via MSC2 to T helper cell, and T helper cell will get activate. T helper cell can only recognize peptide antigens that are presented by antigen presenting cell via MSC2 molecule. So here two signals are needed for the activation of B cell. The first signal, cross-linking of antigen to B cell receptor. Here you can see that this is the first signal. Here it is two B cell receptor are cross-linked with the antigen. This is the first signal. Signal 2. Interaction of CD40 on the B cell and CD40 ligand on activated T cell. Here you can see that this is a CD40 ligand and this is the CD40, and this interaction will give second signal. Okay. Let's see the steps of B cell activation. That means thymus dependent B cell activation. These thymus dependent antigens are mainly soluble protein. These soluble protein antigens which binds to membrane bound immunoglobulin on the surface of B cell are internalized, processed and are displayed as peptide MSC2 complexes. We know that on the surface of B cell receptors are present. B cell receptors are membrane bound immunoglobulin. Antigen will bind with that B cell receptor, that will lead to the cross-linking of this B cell receptor, and that will get internalized and that are processed and are presented with the help of MSC2. MSC2 will present this peptide antigens to T helper cells. This T helper cell will come and recognize this MSC2 presented antigens. Okay. Only MSC2 presented antigens can recognize by T helper cell. So, T helper cell recognize class 2 MSC antigen complex on B cell surface via T cell receptor. It also interacts with co-stimulatory molecule B7 via CD28. This interaction activates T helper cell. Activated T helper cell produce various cytokines. So, we know that on the surface of T helper cell, T cell receptors are present. This T cell receptor will recognize and that will interact with MSC2 presented antigens. And on the surface of this T helper cell, co-stimulatory molecule CD28 is present, and in B cell, B7 is also present. This B7 and CD28 will interact with each other, and that will activate T helper cell, and so T helper cell will produce some cytokines. Okay. T helper cell begins to express CD40 ligand and interact with CD40 of the B cell. The interaction between CD40 and CD40 ligand provide the second signal to activate B cell. On activation, this T helper cell will display CD40 ligand on its surface. This CD40 ligand will interact with CD40 of B cell. That will give second signal for the B cell activation. First signal was the cross-linking of B cell receptor with antigen, and the second signal is interaction of CD40 ligand of T cell, that means T helper cell with CD40 of B cell. That will give second signal. B cell begins to express receptor for various cytokines and binds to cytokine released from T helper cell, which activate B cell and differentiate them to plasma cell. So, T helper cell will produce cytokines, and B cell will express cytokines on its surface, and this cytokine produced by T helper cells will bind with the cytokine receptors present on the surface of B cell, and that's why this B cell will get activated. That will differentiate into plasma cells and memory B cells. Activated B cell only proliferate to produce population of plasma cell and memory B cell, which all recognize the same antigen. Antigen specificity of all these antibodies are, or the memory B cells are same. That will specify for particular antigen. Okay. These are the some difference between thymus dependent antigen and thymus independent antigen type 1 and type 2. First property, chemical nature. Thymus dependent antigens are protein. Thymus independent antigen type 1s are bacterial cell wall components, example lipopolysaccharides. And type 2 antigens are polysaccharide, glycolipid, nucleic acids, etc. that contain repetitive sequence or the epitopes. Isotype switching. That means production of different types of antibodies. Thymus dependent antigen is thymus independent antigen type 1 limited and type 2 also limited. They mainly produce IgM. Next, affinity maturation. Affinity maturation means affinity to an antigen that will improve the antibody affinity to an antigen. That via somatic hypermutation, clonal selection. We know that on the variable region, hypervariable regions are present that will undergo some mutations. That's why that will become very specific for particular antigen by varying the amino acids in hypervariable region. So here affinity maturation is in the case of thymus dependent antigen, yes, but in the case of type 1 and type 2 thymus independent antigen, there is no affinity maturation. Next is immunological memory. Memory B cell production. Yes, in the case of thymus dependent antigen. In the case of thymus independent antigen type 1, no. And in the case of type 2, rare. Polyclonal activation. We know that poly means many, clonal means a group of cells that are arising from a common mother cell. Here polyclonal activation will lead to the production of B cells that are not specific for particular epitope. That may be bind with different types of epitope. That is polyclonal activation. In the case of thymus dependent antigen, it is not present. In the case of thymus independent antigen 1, yes, in high doses. In the case of thymus independent antigen 2, no. So that's all about this video. Here I am winding up this video. If you like this video and find it helpful, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Keep learning. Thank you.